Okay, hi all. So my name is Gangadhar Meto. I will be your mentor for this Design Maestro course. I have over 10 plus years of experience in designing. Today we are going to discuss about the fundamental of graphics design. Okay, our first part is fundamental to graphics design. So this is a part of graphic designing that we are going to cover from the very basic things. Okay, and there are lots of new things you will learn during this training during this graphics design. Okay, so in this graphic design course we have different categories or different sections are there. The first section will go through about the introduction to graphics design, why graphic design, objective of communication, induction to Photoshop, interface layout, what need to be said first, new documents and tools. So these topics we are going to cover during this training. Okay. So first we are going to discuss about introduction to graphics design. Okay. So you already heard from the different people about the graphics design. Okay, this is design, that is design, I need graphic designs. I or so people, sometimes people confuse what is graphic design. Okay, and why we use graphic design. So the best and simple explanation about the graphic design is graphic design is the process by which messages and images are used to convey information to a target audience. Okay, so if I say, or if I ask you what you understood about this point, what is graphic designing? So here it's mentioned graphic design is the process by which messages and images are used to convey information to the target audiences. So not
Right.
only the images. So graphic design, or in other terms, what we can say, graphic design is the art of combination of text, picture, pictograms, like advertisements, magazines, book, etc. Okay, and in other terms, the graphic designing is called a communication design. Okay, so some people called it communication design. Okay, the communication design means while passing our message or convey our message to other person, to our audiences. So that is called graphic designs. Okay, in the graphic design it can be a text, it can be a picture, it can be a pictogram, it can be a infographics, it can be any content. Okay, so if someone asks what is graphic design, you can easily say graphic design is a communication design where we convey or pass our message in the combination of text, picture, pictograms, infographics, these kind of thing. Okay, so this is our graphic design definitions. Infographics is a part of like icons or pictograms. Okay, it's small pictograms which pass the message about about your sentence or about your paragraphs. Okay, for
Okay.
example, like see here below this here, can you see this area, this
Yeah.
area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I use this character only, this will be our pictograms. So this
Mm.
male and female is these two pictograms. Okay, but I use this pictogram to pass the message. So here you can see one magnification I have used and some lines we have used to pass our message to in a different terms. Can you see this line? Some percentage are there. So this is called infographics. Okay, so infographics are nothing but it's a part of using a pictograms to convey or to pass the message to the audience. Okay, so that is an infographics things. Okay, perfectly. Now introduction to graphics design. Okay, so here it's written various methods are used to create and combine symbols, images or words to create visual communication. I already explained the graphic design is a also called a visual communication or communication design, okay, of ideas and images, like saying the whole word of communication is in your hand. Okay, so this meaning the graphic design is also terms here they used. Various methods are used to create and combine symbols. Okay, so in the graphic designing we are not using only the images, we are using the combination of symbols. Okay, symbol can be anything. Okay, if I talk about the symbol can be anything. Okay, anything, it means what? It can be a pictograms, it can be a infographics, it can be any unique text also, that comes under symbols. Okay, here images and words to create visual communication. Also in the graphic design I told you text, so here we have used word to create visual communication. Okay, so it's a complete package of using different or multiple images, multiple graphics, or in the words can be anything. Okay, I will discuss later on what is word or what is text. Okay, and there are different kind of texts are there. I think you have heard about the typographic text, you heard about the artistic text, you have heard about the calligraphic text. Okay, so we'll discuss these word kind of thing in later sections, right? So this is part of graphic designing. Okay, so we'll say this is our introduction to graphic design. Okay, coming to the next slide now. Here, now you can see some examples of graphic design. Okay, can you see in the left side one Tropicana, like food products are there? Okay, see, this is our food products. So this is also a graphics. Some like packaging things here, some packaging. Okay, some packaging are there, some wrappers are there. So these are packaging. This is also a part of graphic design. Okay, some wrappers here. In some example, you can see these wrapper are also a part of graphic design. Okay, so graphic design can be anything. It can be a magazine, it can be a hoarding, it can be a banner, it can be a food products packaging, it can be a wrapper, it can be a billboards. There, it can be anything. Okay, so these are some examples here. Coming to the next slide to see some more examples here. So now in this slide, some graphics are also there. Okay, some billboards are there, some poster are there. If you go to the bus stand, you will see these kind of poster. So this is also a part of graphic design. Okay, so here they talked about the information on the billboards and bus stands poster or hoarding you pass on your way to work. Okay, so this is also a method to pass your message to audiences, to your viewers. Okay, can anyone tell me which kind of graphics we used? How many types of graphics are there? If anyone asks how many graphics are there, how many graphics you can make, then what would be your answer for that? Okay, the vector based and raster based.
Raster.
Okay, so these are a part of graphics terms. Okay, so which kind of graphic is this, guys? Is it vector or raster? So these two are raster, not vector. Yes, how can I say this is vector, this is raster, not vector? I will explain you in the next slide, in further slide. Okay, so guys, always remember graphics can be only two types. Okay, if I talk about only the graphics, graphics can be only two types: vector graphics and raster graphics. Okay, so these all the printed part, we call this as a raster graphics. Okay, so I will explain you what is the difference between vector and raster, and how and which graphics we'll use where. Okay, next, why graphics design? So many people ask, like, you are a graphic designer, you are something else, you're doing this, why graphic design, why we use graphic design? Okay, so here the answer is, when people need to necessarily express something, or usually to with an aim towards promotion or give information, then aim becomes how to do it the best. So that is called graphic design. So what is our role? So graphic design is a main who play this part, who play the graphic design, who create the graphic design. So graphic design created by graphic designer, right? That we are a graphic designer, so we create a graphics, right? Okay, coming to the next slide. Story development and concept design. This is awesome. Okay, so every graphic designer needs to know this thing: story development and concept design. When you understood this thing, you will be a good graphic designer, you will be a creative graphic designer. Okay, the story development and concept designing. So while making any design or while starting any product, we need to think about this topic: story development and concept design. Okay, so the first part of story development is, so whenever we are going to start creating or start implementing or start doing anything, we think about three different things here. The first, what is the objective of communication? So my first question would be, what is the objective of the communication? While creating any graphics or any design, we need to think about the objective of communication, where it is going to be published. My second question would be, what need to be said first and then next and then after? Okay, in these terms we called it why and why. Okay, because while creating, while thinking anything, always we ask question, why we are doing this, why you are doing that, why you are doing that. So that is the three why we use, and that is called what need to be said first, then next and then after, label of hierarchy. Okay, this is also very, very important. Coming to the next point here, who are your target audiences? So this is also very important. While making any design, you need to think, or you need to target your, think about your target audiences. Okay, so let me explain one by one all 3 points, and we'll go to after that next. Okay, so what is the objective of communication? Okay, coming to the next slide here. So if anyone came to me and asked, this is my product, I want to design this, what question you will be asked first to the your client? If I'm your client, I came to you that, yeah, hi, I need to make this design. Okay, what would be your first question?
What is your product?
Okay, you will ask me about my product. Okay, I will tell you my bottle, water bottle is my product.
Purpose.
Okay, purpose, perfectly fine. Okay, my purpose is to make a design, make an advertisement of this product.
Who are your targeted audience? Is it a child, any professional, or a common
Perfectly
thing?
fine, right? So here it one topic came, target audiences. Okay, so this is the main part, the product, because when the client will come, you already know, yeah, this client came from for this product. Okay, purpose, you know about, they came to me for the advertisement only, or maybe some magazine, because we are a designer, we are not a web designer, that they came to us to know our web designing. So purpose is also fine, advertisement. Okay, the target audiences, the first topic, target audiences. What next, what kind of question we'll ask now? These 3 questions are superb, that definitely will ask these 3. Next,
What are the users and what are the market competitors as of now available?
so this your client will say you, or you will find this?
It depends, like whom, I mean, it's both, and whom they consider as their competitor.
Okay, so it's a vice versa things. Okay, maybe your client will also tell me, yeah, this is my competitor, and that's why I create this product. Okay, so competitors also you need to find in the design terms. The designer need to find the like competitors design. My first question would be, sir, I'm happy that you came here to make an advertisement of this product. How you are going to create this product? Are you going to make a poster product? Are you going to make a billboard products? Are you going to make an ads for this product? Are you going to create a magazine designs for this product? Are you going to make a book cover page for this product? How the way of communication? Okay, how you are going to introduce this product, in which way, in which manner, in a poster, or in a billboards, or in a bus stand banner, or in a advertisements, or in a any kind of, it can be any kind of things. So your first question would be this communication method, because as per this communication method, as per your this decision, poster, billboards, ad, you need to decide the size of your page. Got it? Because if you don't know, the client asked, he came to make a poster for me, so we don't know. So if I take a banner size in my design, that is wrong. Okay, because if I know this product is going to be produced as a poster design, then we need to take a poster size. while making the design. Okay, so for the size we need to confirm about the communication, okay, where it is going to be published. Okay, like see some example are there. Can you see this example here? Okay, it's kind of creative shapes are there. Inside shapes there are so many different images are there.
Yeah.
Here you can see black swan. Okay, what is the difference between these two graphics? It look like a poster kind of thing, right? It's a kind
Second
of
one is,
poster, or we can say it's a kind of flyer. Okay, but this, which kind of image is this?
it is looking like a book cover.
Book cover. Got it? So these two are different things. So as per our concept, as per the communication, we need to think which kind of design it should be.
So
Got it?
I have a question.
Yes.
These are images, so we can define them under graphics. If someone asks me to create a advertisement like a video, so
Okay.
will it also matlab cover and a graphic?
Yes. Video is also a part of graphics, but that is a part of multimedia graphics.
Okay.
Okay. Web is also is a part of graphics. Okay, that banner, web banner and all, but that is an web graphics.
Okay.
Okay, so the video will come as a multimedia graphics. Okay,
Okay.
right. Coming to the next slide here. Okay, so some examples are also there. Can you see some objective of communication? Some thinking, some creative thinking here. These three covers. Okay, so this, the first one here, is this a look like a book cover?
It's a poster.
It's a poster. It's not book cover. This one, it's a kind of flyer.
Okay.
Okay, when you go to the shop, they will give you this kind of flyer.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's flyer size. Can you see here? It's a approx square kind of thing. Okay, and this is, you can treat this is as an book cover or magazine cover.
Yeah.
Okay, so as per your thinking, as per your size, the design will change. Okay, coming to the next slide. Okay, the next part, what is medium? Okay, so now our design is ready. Okay, so my client told me, no, I need to make this as a poster. What would be your next question to the client? Then we'll think about the print output. If someone asks me, no, I want to make or I want to create this design as a book cover, you need to think, when I will make a design, what would be the printing method? What would be the medium for that? It's kind of glossy paper, or it's kind of normal paper, or it's kind of a banner kind of paper. Okay, banner, it means what is called banner? Flax printing. You know flax printing? So it's kind of flax
Yes.
printing part.
Okay.
Okay, so which kind of medium do we need to use? Okay, so we need to also think about that. So as per the design, we'll use different kind of medium. So here it's talking about the designer has to deal with the exchange of information and the communication. He has to respond to the receiver with appropriate medium according to their perceptions, their surrounding, and their most often seen medium like newspaper, magazine, poster, hoarding, or digital media. Only then he will able to serve purpose of desired goal. Okay, if you don't know that is this a newspaper or is this a magazine or is this a poster, because every like newspaper have different paper, magazine have different paper, poster have different paper. Okay, so if you know the medium, then we can easily think, yeah, this when the design will print, it will look like this. We can think. Okay, because guys, if you see the magazine, okay, if you see any magazine, sometime if you see in the front cover page, you will see some paper is glossy, some design will shining kind of design.
Yeah.
Some of the magazine you will see, or when you touch that magazine, what will happen? You will see some bevel kind of or emboss kind of texture on the cover page. On high quality magazine, you will see that, and you can feel that kind of bevel kind of design. That is also a design part. Some of the magazine will see they're very rough paper. It's not silky, not smooth, rough kind of paper will be. Okay, so that is a part of different medium. Okay, coming to the next slide. What needs to be said first? Okay, so here, label of hierarchy. So in this part, I told you we asked different why we are making this. So this is not like our client question, because this is our designer thinking. Okay, so when we start creating anything, we need to think why we are going to create this. What is the purpose of making this kind of design? Okay, why we use this kind of lady in my cover page? So this is different kind of question. The hierarchy will come here. Okay, which kind of text will be there, which kind of color will be there. So these all things, these all concept of what would be the proportion of that images. Okay, so these all comes in why stage. Okay, what need to be said first? Okay, so these all image placement, text placement, color corrections, color gradings, and text placement, some information if you're adding to your design. So this will come in a hierarchy, label of hierarchy. Got it? Okay, so here you can see some examples are there. Some examples here. Some hierarchy mentioned above along with elements like color contrast. I told you about the color. So here you can also say as a color contrast, size also. Size is also very important thing. Size will automatically make your viewer eyes go through the page in the certain way. This can be manipulated as per your intention. Okay, so here it's talking about whenever you are going to create any design, think about your color correction, think about your size, think about your contrast thing. Contrast, it means if you are using any background image, your text should be very contrast. It should be readable. Okay, some designer, what they do, if I'm going to see like this design, if I'm going to create this design, this is my blue background. At the same time, if I use some blue kind of text, is this good design? Will be this good design if I use same color text?
Not at all. It
Definitely
won't be
no,
readable.
right? So it won't be readable. The color contrast would not be great, and audience will not like that. Okay, people will tell, yeah, this is very bad design, this is not design. Okay, so you need to also think about these things, the color contrast, the text also, because see, some text is big. So how it's coming, you can see the big reveal. So now big meaning big, so that's why the text is also big. This is also creativity. Okay, so you just think like this. Every designer need to think like this. Like if you are going to see your mobile, okay, maybe UI UX design, okay, some icons in some like designs, or maybe some low quality mobiles, or some low quality UI UX design, if you see the color contrast is not too good. That's why people don't like that, those kind of design. Okay, why the people like Apple icons or maybe Android icons? Because the contrast of that icon, the depth or some like design of that icon is very smooth, or it's kind of glowing designs are there. That's why people like those kind of design. Got it? Coming to the next slide. Okay, who are your target audience? Okay, so one of you asked this question also, target audiences. So this is very important. While creating any design, we need to think about this target audiences. Okay, this is the first common question that we need to ask to our client. Okay, who are our target audiences? Okay, so if I'm going to create any design for a kid, or maybe some school advertisement I'm going to create, who will be our target audience? Or maybe some play school design, if I'm going to create, our target audience would be kid. If you look into the kid books, there are some funny kind of shapes are there, or some funny kind of color they have used in the like kids book. Okay, because that audiences are there. So as per the audience, we create or we think like that. Okay, like in these three images. Okay, if I compare into these three images, the first image, how you categorize this image, which kind of image this is this, and who is the target audiences for this graphic?
It's a print image.
Okay, it's a print image. And how you feel? This is kind of car design here. Can you see some car front grille kind of design here?
Yeah.
Here, and it's kind of bold design. It's a bold.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's reflecting. It's a bold car. Okay, the heavy car. Okay, and also the people, the graphic they have used, those are also rough and tough guys.
Yeah.
And text also, can you see? The text is also bold. They have used, and some bevel they have used in the text.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a different kind of graph. It's a bold kind of design. Then coming to the next image, which kind of graphic is this? One girl, she's running. And here it's talking about ladies first, men second. So our target audiences are adult or athletes. Which athletes? Ladies also, because here the target is ladies. Okay, so this is an adult kind of advertisement here. Disney. Which kind of, how can you categorize as in target audience? Which target audience you will
Kids.
use? Kids, okay. So basically this is for kids. Okay, and you can say in this kid, some images have you kids here, some glow kind of text here, some funky characters they have used. Okay, here some text is also some curve kind of text here. Can you see some curve text? But here in these two design, there is no curve text. There is very straight, simple, but these are curves, funky. So our target audience for this design is kids. Okay, maybe it can be at 10 years below or maybe 15 years below kids. Okay, so this is the kids, adult, and this is kind of bold, who like about the cars, who want to play with the cars. So those kind of design is this. Okay, so as per your design, you need to think which is your target audiences. As per the target audiences, your color, you need to choose your color as per your audiences. You need to think your text typography with your audiences and the images that you are using in a background also reflecting your target audiences. Got it? Okay, coming to the next slide. So graphic design process here. So this is the time where we can discuss about the graphic design process. So graphic design process is the creating an appearance of publication presentations website. I told you that graphic designing, it can be used in different multiple purpose, like for a publication it means for the print purpose. Presentations, so if you want to present something, you can use graphic design here. Website, in an attractive, so if you are going to create an like any website, we need graphic design also for that. Okay, logical manner as well. When done successfully, it attracts attention. We have already discussed about the attention, because people will like this. Adds on value to a message, enhances readership. Okay, so if I'm going to create a very good design, people will like this, people will promote our design. Okay, because sometimes when we see any design on the road, when we go to the office, we always tell our colleagues that I was coming from that road and I seen those kind of advertisement. It was really nice advertisement. So that is a kind of like what like messages add value to our design. Okay, so this is also very good thing that you need to think as a graphic designer. Readability things, this is very important. So whenever you are going to make a design, your design should be readable. Okay, don't make a text who is very small and people and audience cannot read the text. It's meaningless. Okay, so your designer, your all text, your content should be readable. Simplify also. So whenever you are going to create any design, make your design very simple, neat and clean. Okay, so while designing, I will tell you what are the process or what are the method that we need to follow to make our design very simple and creative. Also organized. Okay, organize, it means if you are using any text, if you are using any images, if you are using any pictograms, those are should be synchronized or organized as per the content. Okay, provides selective emphasis and create unity. Okay, so these two are also very important terms that we use, like emphasis and unity. So in our design, we need to emphasize everything, like text, color, images, pictograms, graphics, whatever images are, whatever techniques we are using in our design, we need to emphasize those design. Okay, should be equal, contrast. Okay, and unity, it kind of like adding all the design in one way, like this is called unity. Unity is called adding text, different text in a different sizes to make, or to like make this audience more visible or proper. So this is my main text here, so that's why this is very bold. This is not so much important, that's why this is too small but readable. Okay, so this is also not very important, but so that's why this is too small. Okay, so this is a kind of emphasis and unity that we need to think in our design while working with the design. Okay, coming to the next slide here. Graphic design is a communicator. Okay, as I told you that we are a communicator, that we think about our design. Okay, so someone who takes ideas and gives them visual form so that other can understand it. So our designer is a kind of communicator. We think, we give ideas, we design anything that other understand it. Okay, so this is our role. The designer has to be more creative, that's why. Okay, so graphic designer performs this service on behalf of a company or other organization to help that entity get its message out to its audience, and is doing so evoke particular responses. Okay, so graphic designer is a part, or it's a very like, how can I say that, it's a main pillar of any organization. Okay, and creative designer becomes a very good designer where we need to think a different thing at one go. Okay, because creative designer, what they think multiple things in one design. So right now, just you need to think about our communicator. We are a communicator as a graphic designer. Okay, next is essential skill for graphic designer toolkit. Okay, how many of you are agreed with this? Essential skill for graphic designer toolkit. The first is visual ideation and creativity, design software, typography, print design and layout. Which is the best option to be a good creative designer? If you want to be a good designer, which point is good for you? What do you think? If this point is good to be a good designer, this point should be there to be a good designer or a creative designer, or this point is good to be a creative designer, or this one?
For me, it's all the four.
All four. Okay,
For me also, but most one is creativity.
perfectly fine. Okay, okay, yes. So these all are very important to be a creative designer. But if I ask any to you, which is the very important option? If I will ask you to choose one, what option will go for? Definitely people will go for creativity, because this is very important part to be a creative designer. If you don't have creativity, you can't
be a good designer.
Yes, you can't be a good designer. Okay, you know the tools, you know everything, but if you don't have creativity, you can't be a good designer. Okay, so the very important point is to be a creativity, and nobody can teach you the creativity. So every people have their own creativity. right? Vandana have their own creativity, Kunal have their own creativity, Mamta has their own creativity, and Sudha has their own creativity. So every person have their own creativity. If I give you one assessment to all four, you will make four different kind of assessment
Yep.
as per your creativity. Okay, so and some people have good creativity in some terms, in some point. Some people have like good creativity in different terms. Okay, but everyone have their own creativity. Okay, so great graphic designer creates, they make original sketch based on ideas from their client and use those sketches as a foundation for what will be ultimately appear on the web or in print. Okay, so here the terms creativity, it's here it's talking about while creating any design, what we start for, we start by doing some sketches. Okay, because we start thinking. Okay, so as per your thinking, first we need to draw our thinking to the paper. Okay, we need to present our thinking or creativity to the client on a paper. If the client will approve, then I will go to the design software and I will design this thing. Got it? So first, creativity is very important part, and while creativity, whatever you think about the product, you need to first sketch that ideas to the paper, show to your client or your manager. If once it's approved, then you start working. Then we'll go for design software. Yeah. The second point is design software. The second part, very important part, is design software. Okay. Then when this part is done, creativity is done, but we'll think, yes, this is my design, but what software will use to make this design? Because if I don't know the softwares, okay, so how can I design this? If I know only the Paint, I cannot design anything. I can think I can, but Paint is not a good software to design, to implement. Okay, so here the understanding after that will come to the designing software. So here it's mentioned there are two designing software that that most people are using, that is a Photoshop and CorelDRAW, and these two are Adobe applications. Some people are also using CorelDRAW, some people also using Paint. Those who don't know about Photoshop, Illustrator, and some other application, people are using Paint also to convey the message. Okay, but these two are very important software, Photoshop and Illustrator, to design your thinking or to design your ideas. Okay, so the design software. Next, we come to the typography. This is also very important part, because without typography, our design will not looks good. Okay, so typography is one of the key things top advertisement firms review in design portfolio. Because if you go to any company, they will ask you, are you do you have a knowledge of typography, what typography is? Okay, people are asking about this thing. Okay, so typography, it's nothing but it's a kind of writing a text in different style, that is called typography. Okay, typography can be a calligraphic text, can be artistic text, can be a designing text, it can be any kind of text. Okay, let me ask one question. Have you seen the Coca-Cola text?
Yes.
Coca-Cola logo? What is that? Is that typography or what?
Yes, it is typography.
Yes, it is a typography. Have you seen the Nike logo?
Yes.
Which kind of, is that typography or not? Right.
It's a typography, but it is having a logo.
And if you go to the street, there is a red light.
Yeah.
Is that typography or what? It's kind of graphics.
I think it's a multimedia graphic.
It's a graphic.
It's a graphics?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are not graphics. Those are typography. Okay. So there are three types of typography we used. The first typography is called commercial, expert, and PI. Okay. I will explain you these three things in a typography part, because while using the typography here, it's written typography required a firms understand the font family, right? So typography basically work with font family, a different, or writing a different style of the text. So there are three types of text that we use. That is called commercial text or commercial font. Second is called expert fonts, and third is called PI fonts, PI. Okay, the commercial fonts is all the small or all the light fonts, slim fonts are called commercial fonts. So you can see these are light fonts here. So these are our commercial fonts. These are. If we improve or when we make this font bold, it becomes our expert font. So all the fonts are expert, whose are bold font, are commercial, and this is expert. That's why this is bold. And expert font we always use to emphasize in any point. So commercial font, expert font, and the third font is PI font. So the PI font, the definition of PI font is all the commercial font, all the symbolic fonts are called PI fonts. Symbolic font. For example, arrows, left arrow, right arrow, down arrow, maybe hand sign, okay, streak sign, those all are PI font. You know about the Webdings font? Let me show you. If you go to Google and type, or you can also use Webdings, it's already installed in our PCs. This is called Webdings font. I think all of you have seen this kind of font, right?
Yeah.
So this is a part of PI fonts. Okay, these symbols we use on our street head, like roads. Those are fonts, but we treat as a graphics. But those are fonts. Okay, if you go to
sorry to interrupt. So these all come into typography or just graphic?
It's a kind of typographic graphics.
Okay.
It's a text graphics, text representation. So graphics is what? Graphics is nothing but it's a kind of representation something or representing something.
Yeah, so graphic is also the same thing. And what is the difference between graphic and then typography?
See, can you see this this sign here, this character? Okay, or maybe sometimes if you see some visiting card, what you will see, this kind of phone icon. Sometimes you'll see it's not there, but you'll see some kind of phone icon there. It's kind of telephone icon are there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we use in that term where all the characters are there, that becomes our typography.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm using any graphics with the series of text or series of sequence text, that becomes our typography. If I use this, I'm talking about only this design, right? If I'm going to use this design with some text, that becomes our typography, the representation of the text.
The representation of the text become a typography.
Yes, the representation of the text, this icon, this logo with the text. Okay, because I'm treating this icon as our text, because I'm just starting with the text here. So this becomes our typographic design.
And if it is a only symbol?
Yes, if I'm going to use this with a separately, this becomes our graphics. This becomes our pictograms. So pictogram is a different kind of graphic that I already explained you in the first slide.
So if we use any symbol with the text, then it becomes a typograph.
No. Symbol is different things. If I'm going to use some text, like this is my lady character, right? If I'm going to use 14% here, 14% ladies growth, women's growth, if I'm type 14% here, so this icon becomes our typography. Whole, these three.
Yeah. Got
right?
it.
But if I use this separately here in single design, this becomes our graphics.
Okay.
Because many of the graphics or many of the presentation you have seen, this kind of multiple, like 50 ladies are there, 50 designs are there.
Yeah.
And they are nothing, it's not written 50%. It's only show you the amount. So how we calculate? We calculate as a 50%. We calculate as a text there.
Okay.
You're getting my point?
So if there's an this thing rupees symbol is there, okay, and it's written 1000, okay. So it will come into a typography, or it will be a graphy.
Rupee symbol is it will come as a typographic.
Okay.
It will
So
not.
anything with a graphic become a typography, right?
No. Again, you are confusing. Like, if I'm going to use any typography with the text, it becomes a typographic design, typographic text. Let me go to Photoshop and show you quickly. Yeah, ask.
Okay, so any image along with text is typography, and if it is only image, then it is a graphic.
Yes, true.
Okay,
See,
so
let me show
the
you one example here. If I'm
just a
going
minute.
to see, I'm going to start with some text here. Okay, let me make it bigger. And if I'm going to choose here some font that is called Webdings, so I'm going to my Webdings font here, Webdings categories, and I'm going to type something, maybe this one, okay? Or I'm going to type here. So in this font, for this arrow, I have just used this arrow, and I'm going to change my font, and I'm going to use here Arial with 10%. Right? And I'm going to make it smaller. So how it will call, or maybe if I have only the arrow separately. Okay. So what is the difference between these two? This arrow I used with some percentage value. So this becomes
this
our
is typography.
And this becomes our graphics.
Graphy.
That's why you said a traffic light is a graphics. Right?
Yeah.
Because people are using this as an separately, like this. So this becomes our. So you understood there is any confusion?
No.
No, it's clear. Yeah.
Clear now?
Yeah.
So be very clear about this typography, okay? Where and how to use this. Okay, but one more thing also, because some people called it graphics and some people called it pictograms also. Okay, so I will explain you about the pictograms later on. Okay, what is pictograms and how to use these pictograms. Okay, now next come to the next topic, print design and layout. Okay, so here the first part we already discussed, creativity, graphic design, typography, and print design and layout. Okay, what is that? Okay, so if I just started, I think about the design, I just layouting our design, I use different text in the typographic section. What next? After creating these all things, next part we need to think about our print design. Okay, how we are going to print it now. It is going to be a digital printing or it is going to be a offset printing. Okay, so print is also very, very important for us. Digital printing or offset printing. Okay, so we'll discuss later on about our digital printing. Yeah.
What is the second one you told? Like I heard about digital
offset
printing and
digital printing and offset printing. OFFSET, offset.
Okay.
Okay, and some people call it 4-color printing also. If you work with US or UK client, they call it 4-color printing, offset printing. Okay, so I will explain you these 2 points, digital printing and offset printing, and what are the differences between the printings. I will explain you later on. Okay, coming to the next slide now. Yeah.
If I pick that girl symbol which you were describing that time, okay, and I write below girl, then it is a typography, or only we use percentage signs to with the
only the numbers. Only the numbers, like 50%, 60% of girls growth, 70% of girl growth. It becomes it's kind of infographic. Typographic kind of things.
Okay.
Okay. Next, essential skill for graphic designer toolkit: print design layout and communication design layout. So these two are the toolkit: print design layout, communication design layout. So print design, we have already discussed that whenever we start creating, or suppose we have finished any design, we need to think which kind of printing we need to go for, either digital printing or offset printing. Some people, offset print is like the ability of use the page layout program, sometimes called it desktop publishing program. Okay, I think you have heard about the DPS, digital publishing suite. Okay, some people call it DPS design or DPS printing. Okay, so you can also say our printing layout. This is also part of printing things. Okay, so now DPS is nothing but it's a like package of the software, like printing softwares. Okay, so I will explain you later on about these two terms, digital and offset printing, or digital printing also, like desktop publishing also. Next, communication. What is communication? How can you say this as in communication? Like understanding what a client wants from the design is the key to creating a successful products. It might be hard to talk to the client who don't understand limitations or right terminology. Okay, so communication is nothing but it's kind of convey your message to your audiences or to the design. Okay, I will share. Okay, so it's a kind of communication. We have already discussed about the communication in the previous slide. If you remember, while creating any design, we need to think about our target audiences. So as per the target audiences, our communication will be like that. Okay, so here we discussed about each and every point. Some of the point I will explain you during this training, this Photoshop part. Okay, so I think most of you or know about the graphic designs and the role for the graphic designer. Okay, what they think and how the designer need to be thinker to create a high quality or creative designs. Okay, let me jump to Photoshop and let's start our software now. Yeah. So now we are going to start with Photoshop. So first part in Photoshop. So if you want to download the software, this is the link where you can download the software for 30 days trial. Okay, so if you go to the Adobe website and you can find the product in the product sections, you can download Photoshop. Okay, so this is the link where you can download your software. Just write down this link. Okay, to download the software. Okay, and you can download this house, or you can use this software for 30 days trial. Perfectly fine. So first let's discuss about the Photoshop. So Photoshop is an image editing software that used to create and modify digital images. Okay, so Photoshop is a truly image editing software which help us to create or modify digital images. This is the best definition of Photoshop. Okay, so the we use Photoshop for the creating original artwork, manipulating images, retouching, repairing damaged images, creating graphics for website, and creating user interface for apps. Okay, so if you talked about the creating original graphics, we can create here in Photoshop, we can create any kind of graphics or artwork. Okay, but we cannot create image here. It means called like what, digital images we cannot create. We can only edit digital image, but we can create different artwork here inside Photoshop. Manipulating images, it means we can modify our images. We can change background, we can change color of that image, we can add or remove something from the images. That is called image manipulation. Retouching means if you have old photographs, you can make it more colorful photographs. If you have some spot on your face, you can remove those spot. You can remove the wrinkles. That is called retouching. Okay, repairing damaged images. If your images is not good, or maybe it's damaged, then you can repair your image in Photoshop. okay, by scanning your image, or there are so many different method of for repairing this image. Okay, next is creating graphics for website. So Photoshop is also used to create a website, or maybe web parts, or web designings also. Okay, maybe if you are going to create a banner, or maybe if you are going to use any logo for your website, you come to Photoshop, design your logo, go to your web designing tools, use that logo in your web banners or web designings. Okay, so you can create your logo or any kind of graphics you can create in Photoshop. Next, creating user interface for apps. Okay, this is very interesting that you can also create apps inside Photoshop. Okay, so any kind of apps you can create. Apps it's kind of icons, apps icon. Okay, or maybe you can also create interface for the apps, like Android interface, or maybe Apple interface. Okay, the background, the apps, those you can create here inside Photoshop. Okay, so it's a multi-purpose software, and we are going to learn these all things one by one. Let me okay, so coming to the next slide now. So introduction to Photoshop, digital images. Okay, so here digital images are made up of dots called pixels. Okay, so like guys, here one term that you need to know, that all the raster images are made up of a tiny square dot called pixels. Okay, so here you can see this image. In this image, some pixels are there, some square dots are there in this image here. Okay, so this is called pixels. So images are made up of many pixels. So in Photoshop, what you can do, you can add pixels, you can delete pixel, and you can modify pixels. Okay, so I will tell you that how you can delete pixels, how can you remove pixel, and how you can add pixels in Photoshop. Next is image resolutions. So image resolution are nothing but it's a give you the quality of an images. High pixels or high resolution images, high quality of an images. Okay, like see in this images you can see the image resolution is 300 here. So that's why our image quality is high. I can see very smooth kind of image. But at the same time, on the right side, can you see here 72 DPI? So that's why I can see some pixel, very less like resolutions here. That's why this quality is very low. You can see some pixels. Okay, so the quality of the pixel is measurement units of this pixel is 2 units. We use two different units for that, like DPI and PPI. So PPI stand for pixel per inch and DPI stand for dot per inch. Okay, there is one more measurement unit that we use, that is called LPI, and LPI stand for line per inch. Okay, so if someone asks what is LPI, then you can easily say LPI stands for line per inch, and the LPI is our monitor resolutions. PPI is our image resolution, DPI is called print resolution, and LPI is our
monitor resolution.
Monitor resolutions. Okay, so you need to know about these three resolutions. Okay, let me show you one example. When you open any image in Photoshop, you will work on PPI. But if you print the same image, you will not print in PPI, you will print in DPI. Let me show you. If you have any image, like, and if you are going to print this image, if you go to properties, and if you go to detail sections here, you will see it's coming here DPI. Got it? So this DPI is our print resolutions, and when you open the same image in Photoshop, this DPI convert to PPI, pixel per inch. That is our image resolution. So be very careful while using these terms. When you work with Photoshop, use this term PPI. When you are going to a printing terms, use this, and when you are going for a display terms, use LPI. But LPI is we use for the monitor resolutions. Okay, like inside Photoshop, if I'm working with, if I want to ask anyone, I will ask you what is the PPI of this image. what is the resolution of this image? So I will tell you 300 ppi. Don't tell 300 dpi.
Okay.
If anyone asks you what is the resolution for this image for the print, then you need to tell me 300 dpi.
Okay. Okay.
So inside Photoshop, ppi, for the print purpose, dpi, these two terms that we use, and LPI is for monitor resolutions. Next we have image size. Image size always be measured in pixel. It can be a pixel, it can be inches, it can be a centimeter, it can be a millimeter. But basically we use different image sizes. This measurement unit for a different purpose. If you are working for a print purpose, we go for inches, centimeter or millimeter. But if I are going to use for this images for a web purpose, then we go for a pixels. Okay, so this is our image size that you can see on the right side, our image size in pixels and also in the inches below there. Next, image can be saved in various file formats. So in Photoshop, you can save your image in different file formats like PSD, JPEG, GIF, BMP, TIFF, PNG, and many more. Targa is there, TIFF is there. There are so many formats are there. Okay, so I will explain you one by one what is PSD. So if I go to next slide, you can see PSD is our Photoshop formats. Okay, so when you go to your save document, you will see the first option is Photoshop. This, when you save this in this format, this will be your raw files, your PSD file. Okay, next is large document format .psb. What is that? PSB is a large document format. If you have very high quality images, you need to save with PSB. This one. JPEG, you already know, JPEG is all the images saved in JPEG. PNG, if you want to save your images with a transparent background, go for PNG, Portable Network Graphics. Tagged image file format is a very high quality file format, and when you save your image with this format, your metadata will also store with this image. Okay, for the TIFF. So these 4-5 are very important file format, and while working with Photoshop, I will let you know that how can you use this file formats. Okay, so now let's go and take a new files in Photoshop. So I'm going to jump in Photoshop. So when you open the Photoshop, this screen will come. Okay, this is your starting screen. Okay, I'm going to my file, new, and you can see your new dialog box will come. In this new dialog box, you can define your name of the documents. Okay, so here first name, you can define your name here. So I'm going to define this is my first project. So I'm going to define this is my first projects. In this preset, you can choose which kind of preset you want to work with. These 3 preset is for print purpose. These 2 for your web and mobile devices, and this is for video, film and video. So if you are going to create any print document in Photoshop, go and check with these settings. This is for website like banners or maybe any like social site messages or social site design. You can go for web. Okay, so right now I'm going to use US paper or international paper. Okay, so if you go to US paper, you will see these 3 options: letter, legal, tabloid. Okay, so these are our US paper. If you go to international paper, you can see all sizes paper are there: A4, A5, A3, B4, B5. These all sizes are available here. Okay, so for this project, maybe I'm going to take a A4 size. You can also go for width and height. So when you take A4, the A4 size will come, and the measurement unit would be millimeter. Anytime you can change it, like pixel, inches, centimeter, millimeter. You can choose any one. Okay, so for people, if you want to work with pixels, you can go for pixels. So now it will show you in pixels. If you want to work with inches, you can go for inches, and you will see this inch, the size in inch. Okay, the next is resolution. So I'm going to stick with inches. Resolutions, you can go for different resolutions here. So right now I'm going to use 300 resolution. There are 3 main resolution that we use: 72 to 96. Second resolution we use 150, and third resolution we use 300. 300 we use for the print purpose. Okay, so I'm going to right now I'm going to stick with 300 resolutions with color mode of RGB color. Okay, there are different color mode available here: RGB, CMYK, lab color, grayscale, bitmap. So these two, there are different color options available here. Okay, so right now generally we use these two color mode, RGB and CMYK. Okay, so for this document I'm going to stick with RGB with 8-bit color mode. Here there are different color modes are there: 8-bit, 16-bit, 32 bits. Okay, so I will explain you these bits in later part. Okay, so I'm going to stick with 8-bit now. This is my background content. It means our background, document background should be white, and click OK. Okay, so you understood about these points. I'm going to click OK. So this is my new document. So this is my A4 documents are there. Okay, so you understood about this width, height, resolution, color mode, background. Any query guys here while taking a new document?
So when do we use RGB and when we use CMYK?
Perfectly, great questions. Like RGB we use for a digital printing, or whenever we work or when we create any images for the web purpose, then we use RGB. For the digital printing or for the web purpose, website purpose, web images.
Okay.
CMYK images we use whenever we are going to create or when we are going to print in offset printing, then we go for CMYK color mode, right? So CMYK generally we use whenever you are going to work with offset printing or 4-color printing. That in that case we use CMYK. Okay, coming to the next part here, setting up the documents here. Okay, so now so we have already taken this images or this documented. One more thing I need to tell you guys here about the page sizes. Okay, we have already seen if I'm going to take a new document again. So here I have taken an A4 size. But what happened if I'm going to change this to pixels? Nothing happened here. But if I'm going to modify this pixel, so if I'm going to take a document of 700 by 700, what happened here? Can you see in the preset? It changed to custom. So whenever you are going to create your own setting, by default this preset will come custom. See, here I'm going to use 10024 and I'm going to use, suppose for example, 624. This is my width, this is my height, and resolution I'm going to use 72. And I want to save this setting all the time. Okay, what you can do guys here, you can also save your presets. Okay, for example, if you don't want to create this document many times, you want to save like this preset, you can do that. So first define your size, define your width and height, define your resolutions, and click this button save presets. When you click the save preset, what you can do, you can define the name. Okay, so for example, if I'm going to define this name, this is my web banner, web design, or maybe you can define social media design, whatever, and click OK. So when you click OK, what happened if I'm going to this preset option? Okay, can you see here your design is there? First project, no, where I have saved that. New. Here, can you see this web design? Okay, so when you select this web design, what happened by default, whatever size you have chosen here, it will come automatically. When I choose another size web, you can see it's showing 800 by 600. But if I choose my own preset, it will by default, it will take same size. Okay, so in Photoshop, in the new document, you can also create your, or you can save your presets anytime and you can use it.
Okay.
This is awesome feature while creating a new document. Okay, or you can also change your page size accordingly. Coming to the next part, setting up documents. Okay, so we already discussed about the resolutions. There are 3 different resolution we use: 72, 150, and 300. 72 resolution, why we use 7200 resolutions? For which purpose? For creating web images. Okay, so if you are going to create any web images, always make sure the people are using 72 always. Now in modern time, now this time people are using this also, 96.
Okay.
Both are correct. Okay, so guys, because now all the browser are supporting this resolution now. Okay, so you can also go for this
96.
okay, and people are using 150 for video. Okay, so if you are going to create any graphics for the video, video background, go for 150 resolutions. When you are going to create any graphics for the print, go for 300. So these are the default like resolutions that we use all the time.
As you said, for video, we use 150 resolution for video graphic, putting the background
Yes,
in
the
the
video
video
background.
file, right? What if we put a graphic with a 72 resolution? Is it wrong or some
See, 72
like quality will be differ?
Yes, the quality will be differ. 72 resolution graphics will be very less quality.
So
People
quality
can
in
see the
terms of?
quality in terms of you will see pixels when the people will zoom images, the quality will lose. You will see pixels. Okay, let me show you here.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to open any image here, and let me go to where it is Design Maestro, and let me open some image here. Okay, here you can see very good quality of this image. But if I zoom it, or if I change the resolution here, if I'm going to change this resolution to very less, maybe 72. Okay, what happened? See, nothing happened here. But when you zoom in, can you see some blur? Quality is loose here.
Yes, yes.
In 62%, you can see this quality is now loose. But if I'm going to undo, okay, and if I'm going to the same percentage here, now you can see the quality is not going down. Okay, so low resolution will decrease your quality, high resolution will increase or maintain your quality. So that's why for the printing, we go for high quality, 300 resolution. So when you go for 300 resolution, what will happen? Your file size will be high, but your quality will be good.
Okay.
Okay, and for the website, we always prefer very low size for the website. Okay, so when the people will should open the website, it should be open very quickly. And the background content we already discussed. Either we can go for white background. So here you can see if I choose a white background, the background white will come. Okay, so there are different options are there while taking a new document in Photoshop. Now saving your work. So if you want to save your project, suppose this is my first project, I want to save this, go to file, and there are two options, save and save as. So I'm going to use save as options. So easily what you can save your document. So I'm going to my desktop, define your file name. So here in the desktop, I'm going to define the project name, and from here you can choose which format you want. So PSD, JPEG, some other formats are there. So I'm going to save with PSD, Photoshop documents. And when I click save, what happened in the desktop, you can see one image is now saved here. One Photoshop file is created, say. And this PSD file is like Photoshop raw format is there. When you double click on this, it will open in Photoshop. Okay, so always right now you just try to save in PSD format always. Okay, in the later chapter I will tell you how can you save with JPEG and some other terms. Okay, saving your document, it's too easy, very simple. Interface and layout, like see when you open the first time your Photoshop, you will see this kind of interface. Okay, and in this interface on the left side here, these are called tools, these are called menus. This is called option bar. So where whatever tool you will select, you will get the option of that tool. So this is called option tool or properties bar on the top. This is our document name here. These are document. Okay, on the right side, these are called panels. Okay, here in this images I have written here, this is palette. Okay, you can also call panels, P-A-N-E-L-S, panels. Okay, so this is called panels here. This is our document bar or area bar or working space here. And on the right side, you will see this is my layer panel. Okay, so in Photoshop, layer is very important. So whatever document will create in layers. On the below there, you will see some timeline. In your computer, you cannot see this timeline. You need to open this timeline panel. Okay, so I will tell you how can you open this timeline also. Okay, so this is our interface. When you start your Photoshop, you will get this interface options here. Yeah, this is my interface. So menu bar will contain all the menus. Okay, on the top. Toolbar, so this toolbar contain all the tools, and the benefit of toolbar is whenever you hover the cursor, you will see the name of the tool, move tool, and after that you can see some shortcuts also, V. So when you want to select this tool, press V key. So automatically this tool will select. Okay, when you want to select this tool, you can just find the shortcut like this tool, DOS tool O. So if I press O key, my DOS tool automatically will select. V tool, it will move tool will select. Okay, so also remember the shortcuts. Okay, so these are my toolbar as well. Interface, we have already explained about this option bar, this file name, and this palette. Palettes we have already explained, palette and layers. Okay, toolbars. Now see in Photoshop, some of the tools you can see this triangle sign. Can you see this triangle sign here, guys?
Yeah.
This means some of the hidden tools inside this tool. Okay, so how can you see those hidden tools? Just click and hold your cursor. Then you can see these two tools. Just click and hold your cursor. Then you can see these tools. You can select any tools here. Okay, you can select and hold. But here there is no triangle. Can you see there is no triangle? It means if you click and hold, nothing will happen because there is only one tool is there. So you can also check. You can also go tool with this one, this arrow button. This is one column here. This is two column tools. So you can also expand and collapse your tool like this. Okay, so as per your concern, you can choose which kind of toolbar you required. Okay, so toolbar is there. Okay, next here we have already discussed about the different tools. Some hidden tools are there, so make sure when you see this kind of icon, some hidden tools will be there. You can just click and hold to select these tools. Going to the next slide here, summary. So in this summary here, like just on what we have done. So graphic design is a process. We have discussed about the graphic design is a process by which we pass our messages or we convey our messages to our target audiences. For the graphic designer, what are the main things? The graphic, our graphics should be our objective of communication. Okay, so there are three more terms that we use. What are the objective of communication? 3 why. Okay, what need to be said first, and the target audiences, we already explained about this thing. Graphic design is a process of creating the appearance of publications for the print, presentations, and web designing. Okay, we have already discussed this one. Graphic designer is who takes ideas and give them visual form so that other can understand it. Okay, so graphic designer, we know we are a graphic designer, we need to think like this. Okay, graphic designer performs the best services on behalf of a company or other organization to help other entity gets its message out of its audiences and doing so long, evoke and particularly responsive. So we have already explained, I have explained about this graphic designer, how they can perform in the organization, and the creative graphic designer, how they can thinker, which kind of thinker they can be. Okay, coming to the next slide here. Photoshop, we have already discussed about the Photoshop is an image editing software where we can create and modifying digital images. Photoshop, we use Photoshop to create different brochure, poster, like different kind of paintings. While working with Photoshop, we will work with different page sizes, resolutions, color mode. So we have already explained you. Later on, I will explain more detail about the resolutions. Okay, so this is very important terms that you need to understand. the resolutions. Okay. Also, we discussed about different tools. Here you can see some shortcuts of the tools. Move tool, V, polygon tool, L, and there are many shortcuts are there. Okay. So make sure while working with Photoshop, remember this shortcut. It will make your work easier. Okay, so no need to find the tool. What happening sometime, like suppose sometime I want to search or I want to select the lasher tool, but where is lasher tool? We don't know. If you know the shortcut, then we can easily find. Sometimes we need to find pen tool. Okay, and if you know that pen tool, the shortcut is P, what we can do, just press P key. Now pen tool will get selected. Okay, if I know I want to select some tools like this tool here. Okay, so if I press O key, so automatically it will select DOS tool or burn tool. Okay, one more thing guys here. So if I hold my cursor, can you see this DOS tool? Can you see some O sign? But I want to select a sponge tool here, but my sponge tool hidden inside that tool. How can I select that tool now? O will select that tool, right? But if I press O, nothing happening. Can you see? No changing. So if you want to select the hidden tool inside this tool, press Shift and O. So if I press Shift key and O, now what happened? My next tool gets selected. Can you see now? If I again press Shift and O, now next tool is get selected. If I press again Shift and O, again my sponge tool is get selected. Okay, so make sure if you have any hidden tools inside this tool, like if you selected brush tool, if you want to select pencil tool, what do you need to do? Shift B. So when you press Shift B, you can see your tool is going to be changed all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this shortcut that you need to know. So here you can find all the shortcuts are there. By pressing Shift key, you can go inside that tool and you can select inside tools there. Okay, thank you very much.
A cat killed. Average is dead.